Call the meeting to order. Land acknowledgement. The land we gather on is the ancestral land of the Mi'kmaq, and we respect the Mi'kmaq as the indigenous people of Prince Edward Island. Okay. Councilor Hurley, hi. Nice to see you. Councilor McIsaac, Deputy Mayor, sends her regrets. So I'll ask for the approval of the agenda. I believe Councilor Burns had something you wanted to be amended.
Oh, no, that's just in the minutes under municipal emergency.
Okay, just in minutes. Okay. Approval of the agenda, okay?
So moved.
Yep, second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. Disclosure of conflict? Nobody? Okay. Approval of the previous minutes? September 25th?
So moved.
All those in favor? Okay. Any business arising in the minutes? Don't have our guests tonight. We have council. We have Wendy McKinnon with the financial statements. Anybody have any questions for our financial officer? No?
Save them for next month.
Okay, thank you. Judy, I believe you have the first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There are
Resolution?
no minutes in the package.
No, you have a
Oh,
resolution?
Just on that, there was a cut the interest rates today too.
yes, I saw that.
Was there? Oh, okay.
Is this getting adjusted in?
I don't think we'll get our lines of credit and demand loan adjusted because those are tied to prime, which is 7.5 less than prime. The 0.410 on the 1-year term that we're taking out for the Terry Fox, maybe. But I'll take it that we have, by passing that resolution, that we have authorization to sign anything that's less than that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Apologies. So I have the first resolution tonight, COC 38 2024, operating lines of credit renewal, moved by myself, Councillor Hurley, and seconded by Councillor Burns. Whereas the town of Cornwall has an operating line of credit for the town general operating account of $1 million and the water and sewer, am I reading the wrong one? Oh, you got, apologies. You've also double-sided the package this month. I didn't realize we were double-sided. All right, we'll back that up. First resolution tonight, COC 37 2024, Terry Fox Sports Complex Civic Center loan renewal, moved by myself, Councillor Hurley, and seconded by Councillor Burns. Whereas the town of Cornwall obtained a loan from the National Bank of Canada in 2012 for $1.5 million to finance the town's share of renovations at the Cornwall Civic Center and the completion of facilities at the Terry Fox Sports Center. And whereas the loan is now due for renewal and the National Bank has offered to renew the loan with a remaining balance of $734,476 at an annual interest rate of 4.1% on a 1-year term with a remaining amortization of 7 years. And whereas the Town of Cornwall administration has surveyed other options regarding interest rates on similar loan products and are satisfied with this credit arrangement and will seek to lock in a longer term at renewal, as it is anticipated the interest rate environment will continue to become more favorable. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Cornwall renew this current loan for a 1-year term with the National Bank of Canada at an interest rate of 4.1%.
Thank you, Councillor Hurley. All those in favor? Motion carried. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the other one I half read. Second resolution, COC 38 2024, operating lines of credit renewal, moved by myself, Councillor Hurley, and seconded by Councillor Barnes. Whereas the town of Cornwall has an operating line of credit for the town general operating account of $1 million and the water and sewer utility operating account for $550,000, and these letters or lines of credit must be approved on an annual basis. And whereas the interest rate on the LOCs is National Bank of Canada prime rate less 0.75%, and the National Bank has offered to renew the line of credit at the same rate. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall renew the line of credit with the National Bank of Canada at an interest rate of prime less 0.75%.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Counselor.
Should we be adding a note that last
You want to
meeting?
speak into the speaker?
Should we be adding a additional comment on this resolution regarding the potential decrease in lending rates? Could affect this resolution?
Float with it.
Yeah.
Says the prime rate,
It'll
so
float
whatever
with
the
it.
prime rate is, it'll float with it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
And the third resolution this evening, COC 39 2042, utility demand loan renewal, moved by myself, Counselor Hurlahey, and seconded by Counselor Barnes. Whereas the town of Cornwall Water and Sewer Utility has a demand loan with the National Bank of Canada, which has been used as bridge financing for various utility projects such as the North River Lagoon berm repair, the Main Street Water Main upsizing project, and the new Wellfield project. And whereas the original amortized amount of the loan was $2,614,244, and the current balance is $1,766,800, and the interest rate on the loan is the National Bank of Canada Prime less 0.75%. And whereas the utility is currently undertaking the new water tower project at a cost of $4,061,227, which is 73% funded through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, but will require bridge financing, and it is anticipated that the utility will be undertaking service installation initiatives in the next construction season under various funding programs, which will also require bridge financing. And whereas it is desirable to renew and increase the overall limit of this credit facility to $3 million to ensure these project requirements can be met, and such increase will not cause Cornwall to exceed its statutory debt limit, and the National Bank of Canada has offered to renew the demand loan and facilitate the increased amount authorized under the loan at the rate of National Bank of Canada Prime less 0.75%. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall renew the existing demand loan and increase the overall amount available under it to $3 million.
Thank you, Counselor. All those in favor? Motion carried. You. Counselor Frizzle, I believe. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The next resolution, motion number COC 40-2024, Council Remuneration Study, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Barnes. Be it resolved that the town of Cornwall accept the proposal from Jack Novak, retired professor of local government and adjunct professor in the School of Public Administration at Dalhousie University, to conduct a council remuneration study pursuant to Section 10 of the Town of Cornwall Council Remuneration and Expenses Bylaw number 2202-02 at a cost of $13,950 exclusive of HST.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor? Three. Nay. Counselor Hurley, okay. Thank you. Counselor Frizzle?
Once I have Stevenson next,
Oh, sorry.
4124.
Thank you, Madam.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. The next motion this evening is motion number COC 41-2024, PEI Women's Institute Festive Country Christmas, moved by myself, Councillor Stevenson, seconded by Councillor Hurlahey. Whereas the PEI Women's Institute has been creating positive change in island communities since 1911, and the town of Cornwall desires to support this group in its fundraising initiatives, including the 2024 Festive Country Christmas Gala Dinner and Yuletide Auction with proceeds in support of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall purchase 2 tickets to the 2024 Festive Country Christmas Gala Dinner and Yuletide Auction at the cost of $125 each.
Thank you, Counselor Stevenson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, Counselor Frizzle now.
Next one's mine, yeah. COC -42-2024, International Men's Day. Moved by myself, seconded by Counselor Stevenson. Whereas International Men's Day, which celebrates the positive value men bring to the world, their families and communities, is November 19th, 2024. And whereas International Men's Day is an opportunity for people everywhere of goodwill to appreciate and celebrate the men in their lives and the contribution they make to society for the greater good of all. And whereas the town of Cornwall values the positive contributions men and all people make to our community, therefore be it resolved that Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 is declared International Men's Day in the town of Cornwall, Prince Edward Island.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion. Thank you.
Keep the floor, Madam Mayor, and get into the Municipal and Emergency Services Committee minutes.
You're skipping.
Oh,
one.
am I? That's
Yes.
what's next on my,
Counselor
I'm
Hurley.
sorry, apologies.
Go ahead,
It's just
Counselor.
that-
Hurley.
Yeah, the agenda's good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Baron.
First, I tried to tell them out of turn and then got skipped. Thank you. So there are no minutes in the package this month because the committee had to meet at a later date. So instead of meeting on our regular Monday, which fell on Thanksgiving, we just met this past Monday. So 2 days ago. So the minutes aren't in there yet. But it was a good meeting and we discussed, so the minutes for that will be in the next month's package. But we did discuss the trapping course that 3 of our staff, plus one of the committee members took over the weekend. There was a lot of great reviews on that course. Everybody was really pleased with it. It was a full 2-day course, and gave everybody a really good sense of all the nuances of trapping, and how to do it humanely, and when it's necessary, and what have you. And so we'll be looking at getting a permit now that we have 3 licensed boat trappers. They could now trap during the proper season, but I believe we're going to be looking at getting a permit so that if, say, there is an issue with an animal that's trapped in one of our lagoons, for example, which happened a while ago, that they would be able to trap that outside of season. So we are working on getting that sorted. So that was a really good event for those 4 individuals. We chatted a bit about the wildflower campaign. It's going well. Just a shout out that there are still some seeds available for folks to come down to the office and pick that up. And we did a bit of a debrief wrap up on the 2 billion tree program. The trees planted along a number of the trails for Cornwall look really, really sharp. If folks haven't seen that, everybody did a really great job. Billy did a really great job. Jerons did a really great job. And the residents were very happy with it from their side. And from our perspective, for the trees that got planted on the town property, they look really great too. And then the only other thing we chatted about, well, we chatted a little bit about bylaws, but we ran out of time. So we chatted about the Dandelion Festival that we're going to look at put on late spring. It'll just be an afternoon type event with different giveaways for trees, seeds, maybe a pruning, someone to show how to prune, someone to show how to garden, different things of that sort. So we're working through what that looks like, and we're going to take that to Parks and Rec to make sure that the date we pick doesn't conflict with anything else that the town might be doing. And then the last point to note will be similar to this month. Next month, our meeting will fall on Remembrance Day. So we'll be shifting that to Monday, November 18th. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hurley. Hi. Just to speak to your trees, I've read many compliments about our tree program, and great to see. Thank you.
I just have one question. It's great that you had some folks take the trapping course. I just had a question on the permit for trapping out of season, if required.
That would be for that specific situation, like a specific location, like the lagoon. It's through the government environment. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, and great program there on the trees, Counselor. I hear compliments all the time. Program. Okay, Madam Mayor, Municipal and Emergency Services Committee met on Wednesday, October the 2nd at 4:30. The reports in the package. We had a guest speaker, Mr. Mike Cassidy from T3 Transit come in to talk about all things transit, look at the future, future routes, future services of that service. And there's ongoing conversations happening and we're exploring possible expansions as well as the various dollar figures that come with that and the routes and all those kind of things. So Mr. Cassidy's been a great partner and looking forward to getting some more information from him on that. So there'll be more reports on that coming in the near future, I'm sure. Other than that, that took up most of our meeting, Madam Mayor. So if there's any other questions, entertain those.
I asked him to have some of those routes, numbers, stops, costs, etc., back for the committee meeting at the beginning of December.
Great.
So hopefully we'll have something to bring forward in December before budget time.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that update.
And just on municipal and emergency services, next committee of council meeting, we do have the chief superintendent coming out, the RCMP, but that's at the committee of council meeting.
Other than that, Madam Mayor, the reports from our providers are in the package as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Frizzle. Does anybody have any comments on the report?
I just have one question, not so much on the report, just regarding the RCP station. Do we have a timeline if it's still projected to open in, I believe it was February?
I followed up with the staff sergeant maybe a week, 10 days ago.
Yep.
The latest he told me is they are hoping to get keys to it by November 30th, but that's just to start installing their security stuff, their swipes, their cameras, etc., etc. They were hoping to have move in by the end of January, so say January 31st or something. Yeah, great.
Thank you. Councillor Stevenson, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And my report tonight, I just want to start with just a small recap of Cornfest. Many of you in the room were there throughout the weekend for a lot of our main events. But Cornfest, in a nutshell, was a very huge success this year. It was the best attendance and event registrations to date. I want to give a big thanks to staff, volunteers, the events committee, and council who took part in these events. All of the main events I was able to take in, but except for one, due to a prior commitment in the community. But the feedback was phenomenal from start to finish for the week. And I just want to share a few highlights. The seniors events and the lunch were well attended with great feedback. Trivia, again, well attended. Big thanks to Greg Lucas, who does a tremendous job, and a congrats to Councillor Campbell's team, who I believe finished on the top of the podium that night. So congratulations. And Red Rock Wrestling obviously was a different event that we tried, and it was an extreme success with just under 300 tickets sold. The atmosphere was fantastic. Literally from a 2-year-old to 80-some-year-olds, the age range was well represented there, and it was a lot of fun. And they had a lot of fun being here, talking to some of the folks involved. The fun day at Town Hall, estimated that we had about 1,000 people in and out here at Town Hall. I want to thank both the committee and because I know the committee and here at Committee of Council, we had some debate on where to host, because we have Terry Fox, the Civic Center, and here. And I'm always a big believer in holding as many events as we can at Town Hall, because to me, Town Hall is the nucleus of our town. And that proved very successful. And the feedback on holding it here at Town Hall has been extremely successful from the feedback I've received so far. So I'm very happy at that and very thankful to the group for agreeing to host here. That being said, it was the first year ever. We didn't have any extra corn going home with residents. It was all cooked. The inflatables were a nice touch with the corn. The entertainment by Filipino master dancers, Julie Peltier Lush, was fantastic. Corn shucking was great. Congrats to Councillor Frizzle on his win on the adult category. I had to settle for a second place finish in a row, but that's okay. It was fun. As they say, it's not about winning, it's about having fun. Maybe next year. So that I just want to thank everybody for their help and with Corn Fest. And of course, there's a few little items that are always there in every big event in a growing town, and the committee is already looking at making it even smoother as we head into the next festival or the next Corn Fest. So that's already been discussed at our former meeting. Secondly, our mascot naming process is well in order. So the mascot itself is ordered. As we all know, it's a corn cob that won. The naming process was out on social media and posted throughout Corn Fest to collect names. We've had a few hundred names come in through social media and through the event at the town. We reached out to all the schools to make sure that the students had an opportunity to partake as well. So at our next Parks and Rec meeting, we'll be voting on that and to select a name and to bring it to Committee of Council for approval. So by Christmas, we'll have an official name of our mascot. Holiday events planning is in motion. Council and Madam Mayor, which is always exciting. Dates are going to be released soon, but many favorites are returning, such as the Christmas parade, holiday decorating contest, the Christmas seniors lunch, breakfast with Santa, the tree lighting, and the 12 days of Christmas. So there's lots about to happen here as we move in towards the holiday season. So do stay tuned for dates to be attached to that. Halloween events, as you've seen, as I reported at Committee of Council, and as it's been nicely put up on our social media. Halloween events are rolling in here into the weekend with our youth dance, grades 3 to 6, our Haunted Woods, which, we have a kind of a late afternoon family friendly version along with a scarier version as it turns a little darker. We are still in the need of a few volunteers. So if anyone on council can help with that or anybody from the public to contact Greg, Lucas, or myself for a small amount of help if you can. So looking at just one quick local sports note, it happened very timely. I just want to give a congratulations to the Bluefield boys baseball team who had a very exciting gold medal win last night over Three Oaks, 2-1. So I just want to give a big congratulations to our local Bobcats. The APM 13 Communities Inc. board, they meet tonight for their AGM. And as a representative, I will be attending that and have a report on that next month, or if anything's timely in the meantime. So lastly, Madam Mayor and Council, and as the mayor knows, or as Councillor Hurley would know, but you couldn't attend because being sick, Madam Mayor, I attended an event at the Cornwall Curling Club for their new rock initiation. Which was a very exciting event for our local curling club. It's the first time ever in the history of the curling club that they got a new set of rocks. And just to put it in perspective, a new set of rocks for the entire curling club was about $80,000. So they had a big campaign to get donors and whatnot. And there was a ceremonial first throw, and I was a sweeper. It was a lot of fun. And with talking to the group, we did talk about the Grand Slam of Curling, which council supported the month prior, and there was a lot of thanks from the group to council for that. Because again, to put it in perspective, if you follow curling, it was like the NHL of curling that was here at UPEI and the Cornwall Curling Club for that event. So they were extremely happy at the event that they hosted, and that was made possible by council being able to provide for that. So I want to give a big thanks to council for that on behalf of the Cornwall Curling Club. So that's all I have for my report tonight, Madam Mayor and Council.
Just a question on the events for this Saturday evening. The Haunted Trail. Do you know what time that's taking place at?
It is. I'd have to double check. Tracy's post here. 1 second here. It is, I believe one was at 4 or 4:30. 1 second here. Saturday. Because Halloween falls next Thursday. Yeah. It is. Of course, going slow here on me. Oh, here it is. The youth dance is the 25th from 6 to 7:30 at the Civic Center, grades 3 to 6. And then, yes, we have our other event at the Hyde Park, as always, 4 to 5:30 for our for the first event. And then 6:30 is the scary version. Yeah. Yeah, usually you and I are at that the 4 to 5:30. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Brown. Okay.
Okay,
If there's no other questions, do you want me to go into my motion, Madam Mayor? I have one motion tonight, Madam Mayor and Councillor, motion number PR 11/2024, waive rental fees for TOPS program. Moved by myself, Councillor Stevenson, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas the TOPS program has requested the use of the community room at Town Hall for 1 hour long weekly meetings. And whereas as a not-for-profit organization, the TOPS program has requested that the town waive the rental fees for the use of the space. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall provide the use of the community room for 1 hour per week, the time of the hour to be mutually agreed that the town will waive the rental fee for 1 year.
Thank you, Councillor Stevenson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
I know.
That's the only reason. That wasn't actually called out specifically at our discussion.
Was there any questions on that motion?
Last week, there was some discussion on this one as to whether we would waive it or not, whether or not it was a for-profit organization. But the resolution does specifically call out that it's a not-for-profit.
Thank you, Councillor Hurley. Councillor Frizzle, you have resolution for planning.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 34-2024, bylaw number 422F, second reading and approval. A bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning subdivision control development bylaw number 422. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and developments and the criteria for official plan and bylaw amendments under section 22 of the development bylaw. And whereas Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422 was read and approved for the first time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on September 25th, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, is hereby read and approved for a second time.
Thank you, Councillor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Like carry on, Madam Mayor?
Sure.
Thank you. Motion number PL 35-2024, formal adoption of bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422. Again, that's moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and development and the criteria for official plan and bylaw amendments under section 22 of the development bylaw. And whereas Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw. Number 422 was read and approved for the first time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on September 25th, 2024. And whereas Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning subdivision control development bylaw number 422 was read and approved a second time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on October 23rd, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Cornwall zoning subdivision control development bylaw number 422F, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning subdivision control development bylaw, is hereby formally adopted as a bylaw of the Town of Cornwall.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
You, Counselor Frizzle.
Should have made me read that whole file.
Okay, Madam Mayor, carrying on, motion number PL 36, 2024, bylaw number 422G, second reading and approval. A bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall's zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, zoning map. Again, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has received an application to rezone 56 Lakeview Drive, being PID 719328, from single detached residential or R1 to multi-unit residential R4. Whereas pursuant to section 2.2.1 and section 22 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, otherwise known as the bylaw, council may concurrently consider amendment to the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw and the general land use plan being Part 5, Figure 5 of the 2022 official plan, otherwise known as the official plan. And whereas the proposed amendment to the designation of said PID 719328 of the zoning map and general land use plan was presented to the public at an open meeting held on August 29th, 2024. And whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing, commercial and residential zoning, and the criteria for concurrent official plan and bylaw amendments under section 6.4 of the official plan and section 22 of the bylaw. And whereas the proposed amendments to the general land use plan being OPA-2024-03 was approved at a public meeting of council on September 25th, 2024. And whereas bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map, was read and approved for a first time at a public meeting of council on September 25th, 2024. Therefore, be resolved that bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, is hereby read and approved a second time.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counselor Frizzle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 37, 2024. Formal adoption of bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, zoning map. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and developments and the criteria for concurrent official plan and bylaw amendments under section 6.4 of the 2022 official plan and section 22 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, otherwise known as the bylaw. And whereas bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the first time at the Town of Cornwall Council meeting held on September 23rd, 2024. And whereas bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the second time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on October 23rd, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, is hereby formally adopted as a bylaw of the town of Cornwall.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
I believe you have one more. Counselor Frizzle.
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 37, 2024, formal adoption of bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, the zoning map. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has considered the town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and developments, and the criteria for concurrent official plan and bylaw amendments under section 6.4 of the 2022 official plan and section 22 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, otherwise known as the bylaw. And whereas the bylaw 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the first time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on September 23rd, 2024. And whereas bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the second time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on October 23rd, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 422G, a bylaw to amend the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, is hereby formally adopted as a bylaw of the Town of Cornwall.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counselor Frizzle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 38, 2024, bylaw number 422H, second reading and approval, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, zoning map. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has received an application to rezone 346 York Point Road being PID 248971 from agricultural reserve or A1 to public service institutional or PSI. Whereas pursuant to section 2.2.1 and section 22 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, otherwise known as the bylaw, council may concurrently consider amendment to the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw and the general land use plan being Part 5, Figure 5 of the 2022 official plan. And whereas the proposed amendment to the designation of said PID 248971 on the zoning map and general land use plan was presented to the public at an open meeting held on August 29th, 2024. And whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and the criteria for concurrent official plan and bylaw amendments under section 6.4 of the official plan and section 22 of the bylaw. And whereas the proposed amendment to the general land use plan being OPA-2024-04 was approved at a public meeting of council on September 25th, 2024. And whereas bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the zoning map, was read and approved for a first time at a public meeting of council on September 25th, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422 is hereby read and approved a second time.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
You have one more, Counselor Frizzle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 39, 2024, formal adoption of bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the Town of Cornwall zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, zoning map. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Campbell. Whereas council has considered the Town of Cornwall official plan policy statements regarding servicing commercial and residential zoning and developments and the criteria for concurrent official plan and bylaw amendments under section 6.4 of the 2022 official plan and section 22 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, otherwise known as the bylaw. And whereas bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the first time at the Town of Cornwall Council meeting held on September 23rd, 2024. And whereas bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the zoning map being Schedule A to the bylaw, was read and approved for the second time at the Town of Cornwall regular council meeting held on October 23rd, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the bylaw number 422H, a bylaw to amend the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 422, is hereby formally adopted as a bylaw of the Town of Cornwall.
Thank you, Counselor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. One more, Counselor,
It's a trail.
the trail.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number PL 39-2020.
No,
No, wait, where am I at here?
it's the last one.
Oh,
Counselor
sorry,
Frizzle.
sorry, it was, yep, I got it now. Sorry. It's under
Okay.
minutes.
It's a lot.
EL 40-2024. Scottsview Meadow subdivision phase 1 parkland dedication, pedestrian walkway infrastructure. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Whereas the town and the developer entered into a parkland dedication agreement, otherwise known as the agreement, dated May 26, 2022, pursuant to section 22.8 of the zoning and subdivision control development bylaw number 4114. 41-4, yep. And whereas the value of the parkland due from the developer to the town for phase 1 was assigned a value of $125,675 for dedication purposes. And the town may request payment at any time in accordance with section 4 of the agreement. And whereas the developer has requested support from the town with respect to cost sharing construction of pedestrian walkway infrastructure. And whereas the developer has constructed a 1.8 meter wide trail along Samantha Lane with a total construction cost of $157,014.40. Therefore, be it resolved that council accept the trail along Samantha Lane as the parkland dedication for phase 1.
Thank you, Counselor Frizzle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Counselor Campbell.
Thank you,
Please.
Mayor.
That's right.
That's what I'm here for.
See you, Spencer.
Yeah, well,
Good job.
team players, Spencer. So we had met Wednesday, September 25th. The minutes are in the package, discussed a few items. So I'll entertain any questions regarding the minutes, and I have a couple of resolutions as well.
I just want to comment that the signs at the edges of town look great. I did have one question on one of them. There was still the old framework of the wood behind it, and I was wondering when that was going to be taken down.
I noticed that the one on Meadowbank Road is actually in a different spot, and the old wooden frame is still there as well. So I expect, since they just put those up, it'll be in the very near future that those will be removed, I would expect. Yeah, but you're right, they do look great. A good job to the staff that installed those. Okay. So our first resolution is PW 02-2024 award snow contract, moved by myself, Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Burns. Whereas the town of Cornwall issued a request for proposals for snow clearing services for the 2024-25 season to remove snow from and provide ice control to parking lots at town buildings. And whereas 2 compliant bids were received for the contract, and the low bidder was Dowling's Groundworks Incorporated for a cost of $27,825 plus HST. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall award the snow removal contract for the 2024-25 season to Dowling's Groundworks Incorporated.
Thank you, Counselor Campbell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Second motion is PW 03-2024, snow and ice control policy. Moved by myself, Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Burns. Whereas the town of Cornwall does not currently have a snow and ice control policy that outlines the minimum standards that the town will accept for snow removal and ice control on the town's sidewalks, trails, and parking lots. And whereas there is a need for the town to have a reasonable and actionable policy that outlines the minimum service delivery that residents can expect, and to serve as a reasonable benchmark against any potential claims of negligence against the town. Therefore, be it resolved that the town adopt a snow and ice control policy detailing minimum snow and ice control standards that was considered the committee of council meeting on October 16th, 2024, and is attached to this resolution below.
Thank you, Counselor Campbell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Counselor Burns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The committee met on October 7th. We discussed a few items, including the new water tower. It was verified that the tender, when it was put out, did include the color of the new water tower, which will be blue, with the town of Cornwall logo, which will be stenciled on it as well. Not like stencil, but like large stencil. We also discussed the fact that we do require a pressure reducing valve chamber, which wasn't in the original plans, to reduce water pressure in some areas. So that's being addressed now. And we also discussed the extension of services going down the Cornwall Road. So we will be discussing that in further as well. I do have one resolution to bring forward, which is motion number U06-2024, adoption master plan, moved by myself, Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Corey Stevenson. Whereas the town of Cornwall had a utility master plan completed earlier this year by EXP, and whereas the utility master plan provides a detailed condition assessment of the town's utility and provides detailed recommendations to guide future growth and capital projects required to maintain the utility systems, and whereas the master plan has been reviewed and deemed as an acceptable document by both staff and the utility committee, therefore be it resolved that the town of Cornwall adopt the utility master plan completed by EXP in principle, and to use the utility master plan to guide future decisions for growth and capital development by the utility, of the utility.
Thank you, Counselor Barnes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
And that's everything, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Motion to go in camera.
Oh, Madam Mayor, I actually had
Sorry.
two
Go ahead.
quick items tonight for correspondence. Thank you so much. The first item, I just wanted to give a shout out to Bluefield Step Up Group. They just wrapped up their annual. They're a young group, where they're a couple of years in, a student led, doing an annual fundraising auction per their Step Up program, a student led group that raises money for families in need at Christmas time. And they raised just under $3,000. Grand total came out today. These things, both as a teacher and a counselor, these really warm my heart to see student-led groups trying to help those in need in our greater community. So big kudos to them on their efforts. And I just want to give a special congrats to the teacher advisor, Sheila Callahan, and the student leader of the group was Emma McDougall, who was working really hard with the silent auction, or the auction online. So she was really stick handling a lot of that. So job well done. I just have to go home tonight, make sure I pay for my item. So
Can I jump in on that one
Yes.
as well, Corey? So my kid is in the Step Up committee. And so just a shout out to any Bluefield parents that might be tuning in. The cake auction is tomorrow at school. You can hand your kids some funds so they can bid on the cakes tomorrow at lunch. Yeah.
awesome. I didn't know. That's great. My second item, Madam Mayor and Council, is really more just on behalf. The Deputy Mayor reached out to me. who couldn't be here tonight because she's sick, and she wanted me to share correspondence for her. And it's a lovely note. She wanted to pass along a big happy 50th wedding anniversary to her parents, Bruce and Irene McIsaac. As we all know, Bruce is a stalwart in the local business community here in Cornwall, the hair shop, and on behalf of their daughter, Deputy Mayor Jill McIsaac, and myself, a big congrats on a wonderful milestone of 50 years of marriage. And I wish Bruce and Irene many more loving years together. Thank you so much.
I have a few things here. First of all, I'd like to offer Ernie Stafford big congratulations. He received Senior Islander of the Year from the province. So congratulations, Ernie. We know you are certainly a community man and have been for many years. So congratulations. Tonight is the Screen Park up at Elliott River. So that starts at 5:30, 6:30. There's two different times, 5 to 6. Okay, thank you. And Halloween events, of course, for the town next weekend. As well, our Veterans Dinner will be coming up in November. So that will be happening again this year. And as well, Councillor Barnes and I attended the FPIM Municipal Week last Saturday up in Abrams Village. Councillor Barnes, did you wish to add anything to that?
I did, thank you. I just want to thank everybody that was in attendance at the FPIM meeting on Saturday. It's actually a great location. And we spoke a lot on collaboration. We had some tabletop sessions to, go over some mock scenarios and how us as elected officials can address some of those community concerns better, get information out to the public. So it's just a really good learning exercise. But we also had a session in the afternoon with some elected officials speaking on the matter of mental health for elected officials and the lack of support that's available. We've had councillors, mayors, deputy mayors right across this country, including in Prince Edward Island, that have received threats to themselves, threats to family members. And one thing that is not available for most municipal elected officials is access to mental health supports. One example was noted that, the province currently has access for fishermen and their families to access supports for mental health, but that's still not available for elected officials. Some councils do have it built into the honorarium that they can access EAP through whatever plan that the town or city has. I believe Charlottetown has that available, but I believe that's all. So just something, some good food for thought.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Okay, that's all the information I have at this point. Councillor Campbell, yes?
I just have one quick item. I did want to mention the Screen Park as well, but on the topic of Elliott River, they're also doing a battery blitz for the month of October. And since today is only the 23rd, you can change your smoke detector batteries anytime and drop them off at Elliott River. It's a great environmental initiative, and they've been very successful the last, I think, 4 years. They've won kind of the most batteries recycled in Canada, and they win prizes at the school that reflect environmental things. So I encourage anybody to drop off their batteries at Elliott River before October 31st.
Councillor Frizzle?
I just had one comment about the restoration project, the Hyde Pond. Did you want to mention that we went for the visit?
No, absolutely. That's great. If you could mention that, I thank you for attending this morning. And yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so council supported the Cornwall Area Watershed Group to do a restoration project to Hyde Pond in Cornwall. So that was recently completed, and a few of us went down to view it this week. I also I filled in for Councillor Hurley-High in a CBC interview on it as well. So that knowledge, that work should be getting some attention and stuff now, and it's people that haven't been there, it's beautiful. It looks really nice. Hannah and her team did just an amazing job. And like there was ducks and geese down there today and a bunch of kids walking around. So it looks lovely. It smells nice and yeah, it's great work and stuff. So thank you to our Cornwall area's watershed partners.
Just to add to that, there's lots of compliments coming from the people that live right beside, on the trail, right beside the pond, right down there, so, yeah. Okay, that's it, motion now to go in camera.
Move.
And that would be for section 119(1)(a).
119(1)(a),
Yes.
okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Council.